Welcome to the Mixing Babies and Business podcast. I'm your host, Amy Lynch. I'm covering all things parenthood, business, flexible, and remote work with kids. Think of it as your virtual village where you can tune into stories from other business and community leaders who also happen to be parents negotiating for their needs, taking up space, and navigating the future of work. Season 6 is sponsored by the Mixing Babies and Business Changemaker program for people who want to do things differently, create an impact, and advocate for primary caregivers and their families along the way. Sign up to learn more at mixingbabiesandbusiness.com/changemaker. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, like, follow, and leave a review online. It helps other parents find the podcast. Gonçalo Hall is a parent, CEO, and founder of NomadX, co-founder of Gosa Experience, digital nomadism consultant, and community leader. Passionate about making interesting places more accessible for remote workers. In this second mini episode, we talk about your responsibilities as a leader and individual to inspire others, build trust, and uphold the integrity of the movement, community, or concept you are creating. Let's get into it. When I started, it was the same for me. I was freelancing remotely. I was just trying to connect with people. I really believed that everyone deserved to design a life that works for them and their family. And I was focusing on economic empowerment, financial literacy. And what I found was people were just opting out of environments or conversations because of being parents instead of showing up as they were. I was coming at it from that, well, what would happen if we just showed up as we were or adapted things so that people felt more comfortable bringing their kids as opposed to totally excluding themselves. So I love that you're open with sharing that, yes, you're doing it for yourself and your family, but you're also benefiting other people as you build with them.
Yeah.
For our audience or people who are trying to collaborate or build meaningful connections, how have you gone about? Do you have a specific approach or a formula that you like to apply for collaborating with other people and building meaningful relationships?
I think it's very natural for me. It's who I am. I really need this connection with people to be happy. I'm an extroverted person. I really need this social infrastructure to be happy. So the way I do it is through events. If I'm in a new place and I don't own the community, I just go to other people's events. It just happened in Rio when we started. I was just going to different events from different people, understanding from cultural events to entrepreneur events, understanding who is there, creating my own social infrastructure. And I do this for a living basically right now, which is quite cool. I think if anyone is starting, it's the same, like create an event, invite other families, put it on Meetup or anything. People who are following that are looking for this, and there's a lot of people looking for this, they will see, they will hear. And if the first day you have two people, the next week you'll have 5. In 1 year you'll have 50 or 100, and then it will be out of control. And then you created a movement. It all starts with this first event. So there is a really good book that inspired me for my whole life. That's Tribes from Seth Godin. And it's a little bit like it. We need to create our own tribes in something we believe in, like you are doing with the podcast, I'm doing with my communities, Andres is doing through his posts and in Bansko. We need this leadership of our different tribes to actually make something good. I think that's very, very important.
And when you're focusing on government clients or, more corporate audiences, how do you connect the talent attraction? And I saw you post recently about not speaking about remote work, thinking about borderless talent and distributed work and not necessarily focusing on remote work exclusively. How do you convey that value and of what you're creating, especially if it's something that is a concept and it is not actually in reality yet?
I think we as leaders have this responsibility to inspire people. I think this is very, very important. And sometimes we haven't figured it out. And just writing about it pushes people to imagine something that's not there and that we can then create the partnerships to build together. So this is how I see it. When I work with governments, I'm not selling the project, I'm selling the vision of what will be if we do this. The same with the clients is many people that came to Madara in the first day and they come 3 years later, like now it's the vision we had 3 years ago. So now it's fully developed. And I think inside the family and nomad space is pretty much the same. What's our vision? So I'm just listening right now, speaking with everyone, trying to understand what is needed so I can have a clear vision on what I need to build to inspire the right people, corporates, governments, etc., to then build this together as a community and be 10 times better. So that's the vision, right? So I think just trying to connect all these people, the governments, the private clients, the borderless people that are working from anywhere, inspire them to take action, inspire them to be part of a movement not just to be part of it, but help leading the movement by, it's like, this is like a pyramid scheme. If every nomad family brings 5 new families to the movement, and those 5 new families bring 5 new families, we're going to be huge. But that's it. People inspire other people just by being themselves and sharing their experience. All my content on LinkedIn is my experience in the written form and what I see to the world. So I think we need to push this vision to governments, to corporates, to clients, to everyone, to new people, new families, because governments have families and they always say, oh, I wish I was like you. Like, come for a month, come to Rio for a month. It's going to be fun, right? So sometimes it's just lowering the barrier of entrance to something new, like being a nomadic family. Maybe don't sell everything where you are right now. Maybe come for 1 or 2 months to Azores, see if you like it. If you like it, next year repeat for 6 months. If you like it, go all the way in, or no, or maybe just spend 3 months abroad, skip winter, because winter in Canada is not that great. Sounds much better to spend the winter in Brazil or in Portugal and then go back home where you have your social infrastructure, where you have everything for you. So I think it's being very flexible, inspiring others, and also inspiring others to inspire others. That's how we will grow all these movements while we create meaningful connections and create this beautiful solution we are seeking. That's community based. That's something that we want to feel a belonging, that we don't want to feel outliers, which I think most of us still feel in the nomad community. This nomad family is still outlier. We have to discuss with our parents. We have to discuss with society. We have to argument our way in until it becomes normal, like remote work. Like you said, we're not talking about remote work. We're talking about borderless companies. It's the same. It's a rebranding. So we have to stop to think about nomadism as this intangible thing. We are now borderless people with borderless families. We're just happy to spend time wherever we want, whenever we want.
Yeah, that's a good summary. And I've been similar with just sharing ideas and seeing what happens. And a lot of the collaborations that have approached me, I've been like, what's in it for you? How did you find out about me? Because I've just been so open with sharing and thinking, oh no, what's the catch? But really it's because you have to go first. You have to put the idea out first. You have to attract people or magnetize them to the concept by sharing it and then just seeing where it takes you. And the results are always way better than you could have anticipated in my experience.
100%. But do you like, I have a question for you, if that's okay.
Yeah,
Because I think it's so important to collaborate with others. Do you have, but also it's important to filter because some people don't come for good reasons.
true.
Do you have a way to filter what's the good and what's maybe fishy?
So I've been speaking about parent-friendly professional development for about 8 years now. I've had quite a few people approach me, either as like a brain-picking conversation or perhaps they want to collaborate, but their audience is maybe not aligned with what I'm doing. I've even had people try to come to my events to hand out information about fertility or reproductive things or buying government savings bonds for your kids' education. So I don't allow advertising. I don't allow market research because the crazy thing about just posting something on Meetup or scheduling an event or putting your idea out there is I wasn't really prepared initially for the types of things that will be attracted to me or the concept because it's parents of a certain age, of a certain demographic, and I didn't realize the market research potential in that, and I don't want to monetize my audience to another company. So I've always been very firm on my integrity and my boundaries with that. On the other side of the thing, with other sponsors or different people approaching me, I've gone through kind of like a due diligence process of, okay, what's involved? Do I own my intellectual property? What is the advertising period? So I've only had 3 seasons of the podcast sponsored to date in certain events, but it's always been aligned with organizations, or in some cases, there was banks that were funding a topic about financial literacy, but they're not pushing out their banking information. They're just sponsoring the event. Otherwise, I've done it as in-kind contributions, cost recovery basis, that kind of thing. So you have to really know where you're willing to draw the line. And for the brain picking or other types of posts, I have scripted response that I copy, paste, adjust to the audience because there's a lot of people who would prefer you speak for free. I have been more intentional lately about trying to value myself as a consultant or advisor, and I'm happily going to be a paid guest speaker at that event. Here's a list of previous clients I've spoken for.
I
So
love this.
it's like a nice way of saying no, thank you, because I can't buy diapers and groceries for my kids' lunches niches with a testimonial on my website. But if it's an audience that I'm aligned with, for example, I did a volunteer speaking engagement for a local women's high school for parents about how they can pitch and present alongside their kids. That was
Love
aligned with
it.
my values. That's maybe like once a year or once a quarter that I'm going to do something like that. And then I will focus on my script that I wrote for the other responses.
I love it. I think the most important thing you said was if you are a community leader, and for everybody listening that maybe thinking about becoming community leaders, integrity and boundaries. You don't have to say yes to everyone. And the more you grow, more people would want to partner or take advantage, depending on the angle with you. Integrity and boundaries, the thing you started with, it's so, so important. And that's how you build trust from the whole movement like you did. It's literally integrity and boundaries. So congratulations for that. I think it's amazing.
Well, thank you. It's not always, I don't always feel great about it because I, of course, want everything to spread, but I also have tried to kind of have a filter of, well, what's in it for this person? And is that information proprietary? Is it something that I've developed myself? And trying to get more strategic about that and also documenting my own processes so that if I do need to hand it over to someone, it's already there. It's not all inside my head. Thanks again to Gonçalo for speaking with me about what it's been like to generate excitement around ideas, collaborate with others, and filter through opportunities related to digital nomad life. The next episode will feature what he wishes someone would have told him about becoming a parent alongside running a business and the importance of looking after your well-being. Check out his work at nomadx.com. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and leave a review. Connect with me online and access your parent-friendly entrepreneurship, flexible, and remote work resources at mixingbabiesandbusiness.com. Thanks for listening.